Good morning. Hi, everybody. How are you? How was your weekend? I hope that you had a really relaxing and rejuvenating weekend. We had the full moon in Pisces just last night. So, yeah, it's a whole different feeling out the other side from dark moon since we last were on. So, yeah, be interested to know how you're all feeling. And I'm going to jump straight into seeing what crystals come up for today. Hey, Fawzi, how Catherine? Oh, wow, got you guys on straight away. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to jump on and see which crystals we're going to be navigating this week. So let's see what the collective has in store for us. Hello, how are you guys? You been feeling good? Felt like a big week for me. It's felt, yeah, definitely having a lot of recalibration happening out the other side of those eclipses. Been feeling it still, but yeah, I'm just starting to feel a little bit more grounded, thank God. So, yeah, let's see what we have in the cards this week. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got some cards we haven't had before. So a lot of green energy in this week. We're starting off with green tourmaline. So I don't think we've had this one before. Green tourmaline is the card of enlightenment, it says. So it's really about bringing light in through the body. And a lot of crystals do that grow in this way, and this long striated filaments do bring in lots of light, but green tourmaline has been titled the Stone of Enlightenment, and that's a really interesting one to look at because any crystal that has the green ray as well is also very much predominant in healing. Falsey still buzzing. Full moon was a bit broody. Yeah, gosh, I was feeling it too, for sure. So yeah, it's really interesting that we are starting this week off with some really like green healing energies as well. And it's really a stone of alignment, enlightenment, lightening our bodies, lightening our life really. So I just want to go on to the next stone before I go too deep into that. And we've got Bloodstone. So these two really, if you look at them, have got so much green energy coming. And Bloodstone is a stone of purification. So it's time to enlighten, align, purify, and it makes sense since we're coming into springtime really soon. I'm actually just about to start a spring cleanse 1st of September. Beautiful friend Katia Asdis, if she's on here watching later, she is doing a 3-month cleansing program. For anyone who's interested, please let me know and I'll pop you guys in touch. But it's really great to support each other with these changes and and really listening to the seasons. So winter time is a time to go in, it's a time to stay warm, it's a time to drink wine and enjoy yourself, I think. And springtime is time to get more active and to really lighten up, lighten the body, move the body, and purify. So Bloodstone is also, because of its name, you can see the red in here, it's a blood purifier. So it's really great with working not only on like healing and purifying the whole system, but purifying the blood. And to purify the blood, we really need to be active and to really move our bodies. So we've got enlightenment, purification, and the third one we've got is Tanzanite. So this is the stone of the angelic messenger. So it's very much a intuitive and guided, like a higher octave stone that really balances the higher mind, but also our vision and our heart. So it's really the blend of these higher aspects of self that are meeting through that beautiful purple ray center. So we've got some great new crystals in here that I haven't seen that often. So this is really what we're calling for at the time, is to purify, align, and listen to the messages that are coming through. So we really are, you know, supported, even though it doesn't feel like it, we really are supported all the time by unseen beings that love and support us. So the more we can really listen to that and know that we are being supported, but also listen to what's happening in the seasons that is going to support us as well. So if I was to bring all of these energies together, it will go something like this. So when I lighten myself and come into alignment, I welcome the green ray of purification. And through this purified vessel, I am able to hear the guidance that is all around me. So that sounds pretty good. So the lighter we become within ourselves and within our beings, the easier it is to hear the guidance that is around us. So that's a really good thing to pay attention to. You know, the more sort of bogged down with things we feel, we don't really pay attention to the leg ups we're getting all around us, you know, like, and we all know what it feels like. You know, one little thing will lead to another, which leads to another, which sort of can really get us feeling lower and lower and lower. So the more we can just take steps to just keeping enlightening ourselves. And it's really interesting that I've just this week started working with the crystalline body system. So if anyone is interested, I have put together this package, which is basically a full comprehensive overview of your body systems. So in a session, I'll be looking at your personal consciousness zones, so where you operate out of. So for a lot of people, that might actually be in the higher spheres, but then they're not really present here physically on the earth. Some people operate more out of the mental, some people operate more out of the emotional. But essentially, we want to have a nice balance between all of it. And I also look into your light quotient. So that is directly related to the green tourmaline energy. So it's really great that this has come through now since I'm doing this work as well. So it's really interesting to look at. The light quotient is basically how much light and therefore energy and therefore information we can receive in our bodies. So the lighter we are, like, or the clearer the channels are, the higher light quotient, which means we can receive more light, more energy, more information, which can propel us forward. I'll also look into where you sit on your life path at the moment. So it's like a really comprehensive reading. What crystals constitute your name? So everyone's name will have a shadow crystal, a purpose crystal, and a higher purpose crystal. So I'll look into that and how that influences your life. Then we go deeper into the shadow realm. So each person has 6 crystals that really kind of dictate where the shadow work is and where the gifts that lie in the shadow work are. And each person will have that on the feminine aspect of being and on the masculine aspect of being. So that is represented, you know, by the maiden, mother crone, by the warrior, the father, and the sage. So looking at these energies and how they, you know, play out in your life is really interesting as well. I'll also go into the Star Child directives. So that is out of 11 directives, what your directive is and like what gifts that you're here to deliver. So that's really interesting. And then it's a very comprehensive look at all the body systems. So looking at, you know, the skeletal system, the muscular system, the nervous system, digestive system, you know, circulatory system, reproductive, list goes on. I think there's 10 or 11 body systems, looking at their functionality on an energetic level. And I also do a chakra diagnosis to see how all of those are functioning as well. So once we get this like really big picture, this crystalline overview of what's happening for you as a being, then we can really step forward with how to support you in enlightenment, in really opening the channels, clearing the way, and getting the upgrades you need to really have the the access and the ability to hold the light and the energy and the information that is available for us now. So yeah, that's something I'm really excited about offering at the moment. So I just did my first one the other day, and it was pretty much like a 2-hour session. It was pretty massive. But in that, so I'm going to be doing that for $120, and that includes your first liquid crystals. So the priority of what your body wants to work with will come up. So we look at like all the percentages of the functionalities of your body systems and see which keys need to be opened up. So it might be like digestive system needs some work. Let's open that up and see, does it need activating? Does it need calming down? Does it need support in other areas? So I'll use different crystals for that as well. So if you're interested, please be in touch. And yeah, I can do that by distance or in person at the Wild Fox Clinic down in Byron on Fridays. And then it's really something that's important to remember. It's not like a one-off, like anything in life is not a one-off fix it all. It's really a commitment to yourself to wanting to step into the upgrades for yourself. So depending on how your system works, how your system assimilates things, it could be a month-long, you know, or a 12-month-long process, depending. Like each system of the body might require a whole month of programming. But quite often, sometimes when you just find that little key that unlocks the whole thing, it's amazing how quickly the body can just align itself. So yeah, if you're interested, please be in touch. And yeah, if anyone online would like a card, let me know. Falsey, Catherine, would you like a card? Okay, I'm going to get one for you. I'm going to get one for you, Catherine. And we're going to touch base a bit later. So, Catherine, I know you've been on this path as well and been really looking at the body and this vehicle and how to love this body, because really all healing starts with self-love and an appreciation. And if we don't respect and love the vehicles we're in, these suits, you know, they're not going to work optimally for us. And so often we take our bodies for granted. So it's not until we come up against challenges within our body that, you know, we look to go and get some support. But yeah, it's really good to remember that it's just this, without this physicality, we can't do the things we want to do. And we want to bring our mastery, we want to bring our brilliance here on the earth, you know, physically grounded. So we need to be, you know, functioning to absolute optimum. There's a jumping card for you, Catherine. The egoless state, hemimorphite. So the interesting thing about this card is this was the first liquid crystal ever made, actually. So the egoless state is a really, yeah, it's an obscure card because it's an obscure crystal. It's not one that you come across often. I'm not sure if you've ever seen hemimorphite, but it grows in like quite powdery, beautiful blue colors in these like almost like botryoidal growths. And it's really such a an energy of selflessness, but not not to ignore the self. So there's such a fine line when we're speaking of ego, because we do need to have an awareness of self to function in this world, and we do need to have a respect for self to function in this world. But we also need to have that slight bit of detachment as well, realizing that we are not just me or I, we are all. So this is a really big piece in the puzzle of finding unity and oneness, and also finding self-love. Because, you know, if we single ourselves out as like, this person is struggling, this person has got the short end of the stick, or this person is not as fortunate as someone else, that's still like a focus on the self that's not really supporting the cause, if that makes sense. So I hope that, yeah, I hope that makes sense for you. Hemimorphite's definitely one that I don't come across that often, so I'd really love to look into that and touch base with you about that too, Catherine. So, and Folsey, I'll get one for you. I can see all these comments, but here we go. I just missed it. Zoe, you're on here too. Awesome. Hey, Kirsten. Okay. Yes, Catherine is guiding groups through cellular cleansing. So if you are interested in cleansing, please get in touch with Catherine on here. Catherine Keeley. She's really stepping into this as well. So I think this is another part of this too, Catherine, is realizing that the service that we're offering is for all of us. All of us experience this, you know, this desire to want to get more in alignment. You know, no matter where we are at or what our bodies are like, we're all wanting to step it up, right? So, yeah, take the follow the heed and the call to want to do that in whatever way that serves you. Okay, so Folsey, this one's for you. Chaurite. So chaurite is the stone of carving your own path. It is the stone of individualization, and it's definitely one of my favorites. It's got a little symbol on it. Here you can see that looks like the mountains, and this, I believe, is referring to the Ural Mountains where chaurite is found. It's only found in Russia, and it's the animal that connects with chaurite is the white tiger. So it's very elusive, and it's a rare crystal, and the animal is also quite rare as well. So it's very rare that people have the courage to carve their own path. You know, so many of us do what's safe and what is expected, but this is really asking you to listen to where your dreams are at. This is a dream card as well. It's very much a stone of the new way, and these ways aren't always carved out for us. We have to find them ourselves. So it's definitely a stone to listen to your dreaming and to follow it. Okay, so who else would like a card? Yep, Catherine. Yes, Kirsten, you're next. And we've also got Zoe. So let's go with Kirsten. How are you? Okay, Kirsten. Oh, opal. I had a dream about opals the other night. So opals are the stone of emotional magnification, and a stone that is generally only found in Australia. I know there's a lot of different types of opals from Peru, but they don't look like opals. As far as the iridescent, amazing opals that we all think of, that come to mind, they come from Australia, and there's a lot of Dreamtime stories that say they're the scales of the rainbow serpent. And there's such a beautiful balance between fire and water. It's got, I think opals have like 21% water content. So in jewelry, for example, they often can break because they're totally expanding. Like our bodies, we swell with water, and we contract, we swell and expand and contract, and that's just how water moves in our system. But it's also got this amazing fire and this light and this iridescence that moves through it. So this is the nature of our emotional body. It ebbs and it flows, and it's fiery sometimes, it's watery sometimes. But this is really a stone to really bring out everything and anything that is wanting to be felt. So it's definitely a stone to really balance the mind, because when we listen to our emotions, our mind, it's like the mind and the emotions are very much needing one another to stay in balance. So we can't be all mind and not feel the emotions. We can't be all emotional and not listen to the mind. Like, we really need to have that balance. So this is asking you to pay attention to your emotions, and this will actually help your mental processes. So hopefully that makes sense. And Zoe and Dia, you there? Good to see you. Okay, Zoe, what have we got for you, gorgeous? Smoky quartz. So this is the grounding stone. It is a stone of the earth light. And often, you know, we see beautiful quartz crystals and light crystals and we think, wow, they've got so much light. But actually, the darker the stone, the more light content it holds. So we think of a star as opposed to a black hole. Stars radiate light because light is coming towards us, and black holes absorb because the light is going in the opposite direction. They're actually exactly the same things, but there's different directions. So it's the same with smoky quartz. It's like, it's just as light as a clear quartz, but it's going in the opposite direction. So it absorbs and it pulls you in, and it absorbs impurities out of the air. It absorbs electromagnetic radiation. It absorbs all kinds of energetics. It pulls it in, which makes it very cleansing, but it also really grounds you as well. So pulling you into the earth. So yeah, this is a time to really realize the light that is held within you by being really grounded and really present. And sometimes, you know, we associate being really light as being really out there and radiant and, you know, putting ourselves out there. But containing ourselves is also like containing our light, which is, there's a time and a place for that as well. You know, there's no one thing better than the other. It's just different ways that light flows. So hopefully that makes sense for you. And who else would be good? We've got here. I'm glad that makes sense, Kirsten. Awesome. And Catherine, yeah, never heard of that crystal. Yeah, it's one that I have to admit, the hemimorphite, that I'm not super familiar with. So yeah, great. Okay, so if anyone else would like a card, please let me know. Otherwise, we will call it a day. Dea, would you like one? Okay, well, I think we have had a good go. We've got, just a reminder, we've got green tourmaline to the start of the week, so bringing on that enlightening of the body, the purification of the body through Bloodstone, and then listening to the messengers from Tanzanite. So these are our 3 cards for the week. I'll pop them in the thread, as well as hemimorphite, chaurite, opal, and smoky quartz. So these ones all look quite beautiful together. I love looking at the colour schemes for the week. We haven't had many of these blues and purples for a while. So lots of love to you all, and I will see you all next week.